NYYST. This is New York, Yankee sports talk. Swinging for the fences, knock it out the park. This is New York, Yankee sports talk. Christian and Chris, of course SGR. This is New York, Yankee sports talk. Homie, New York, Yankee sports talk. Record, rain or shine, grab your shades and umbrellas. NYYST, you're hanging with the fellas.
Welcome back. This is episode 286 of the NYYST podcast. We are live on NYYNewsTV. I'm your host, Christian. As always, joined by my co-host, Chris.
Yo.
And SGR.
What are
the fellows are back all together again. What's going on, boys?
video? Yeah, we're live. We're on video. Camera.
Oh, we're people back. Are going to get to see that sexy face of SGR today, huh?
Yeah. What up? What up?
So everything is good right now, huh?
I guess.
Yeah. I mean the Yankees are just dick slapping people as they go along here. I mean,
it's crazy. I know you're older, and I know we joke about it, but I'm going to say it in a serious. I'm going to say it in a serious term. Okay, much older than us. Okay. So you're how old?
Okay, I'm 38. Okay,
so you'll be 39 this year.
That's right? Generally how it works. Okay.
Yeah. So then, and then 40. Okay.
34.
Okay. 43. Okay. 43. Okay. Happy birthday. 44. Okay.
Let him get out of his system.
Yeah, I almost wanted to keep going.
And Rye, you just turned 30.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a 9-year gap from you.
And
9. About a 5-year gap from me. That's a big difference when we're talking about the 1998 season.
True. Okay, I like where you're going with this.
Okay. For you, Christian, you can probably remember it to a point where you actually can. Like, can you go back and truly remember how dominant that team was? I'm not talking like the highlight reels that you see since we were kids. I'm saying, do you remember living in the moment?
No, I'm
watching that team dominate.
I was 15, bro. I'll be honest with you. I didn't watch the team
the way you do now.
Yeah, I mean, I was 15. You know,
so you're not a true fan.
No, I'm a fake fan. Okay. I didn't know what Woba was when I was 15. Okay.
All right. So then we can all say that this might be it from our memories, our true memory that we can recollect. This might be the most dominant Yankee team we've seen through 60 games of a season.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's pretty remarkable considering where we stood before opening day.
Yeah, for sure.
Opening day.
Wild.
Okay.
Are you still waiting for the other shoe to drop?
Well, let's get through this next 13 games here. This is the big test right here. So
do you know the Yankees, by the way, everyone gives them shit for the schedule, but you know they're 15-7 versus teams over 500.
Okay, and then did you know impressive. That out of the 30 teams in Major League Baseball, they had the 9th hardest schedule thus far?
Oh, that was out of all teams in Major League Baseball? Wow. That's because most teams suck, right?
Well, I mean, if there's only bad teams to beat and you don't beat them, then are you a good team?
I mean, you're a good team when you beat anyone.
I mean, the team is 44-16 right now. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at, bro. This is the most incredible run to start a season that I can ever remember. I'm like, I mean, if you have to be a little bit older to really understand what that 98 team did. I was 15. I watched games. I was doing high school shit, working, playing baseball. No, not at 15, 16. Okay.
Yeah, Chris.
I was 12.
All right, so I guess the most recent best Yankee team would be the 09 team.
Which wasn't close to this.
No, well,
as far as regular season
here.
No, they were not good for a long time.
What was their record? What was their record through 60 games? Pop that down in the chat too if you want to chime in. What was
I'm going to say
record?
39 wins.
Okay.
Am I close?
You're close. It's close.
Do you know?
Yeah, I'm staring at it.
Okay, what is it?
34 and 26. Christian, I thought you were going to chime in
No,
and get a guess.
I'm saying I know that they weren't
A little
very
game
good
out of it.
for a while
Yeah,
because
34
you
and
remember
26.
it was. I wasn't it late June when Cashman had to fly down to Atlanta and they won that 1-0 game on the Cervelli home run, and that was kind of like the turning point for the season in 09. So they didn't get out of the gate hot. The 2019 team, I know they failed miserably in the postseason, but that was a 103-win team. But it's still
they were at.
We pass over that team for some reason with how dominant they were in the regular season.
You said the 2019 team?
Yeah,
because they failed miserably in the postseason.
They were
that was in that was when they lost in the ALCS, right? Game 7.
38 and 22 that year.
Yeah, so they're on a pace to win 117 games or something like that right now.
I think.
Yeah, something around there.
Fucking wild.
What I'll tell you what's really wild is that the event at Yankee Stadium is now less than 2 weeks away. I mean, it's June 25th will be here before you know it. Are tickets still available? Can people still attend this event?
Yeah, you just go on Twitter. You go on the Twitter.
Yeah, it's easy to find, easy to navigate. Click it
at NYYST_podcast. The link is still there, pinned to the profile. It's going to be crazy, man. I'm very much looking forward to it. And next week, we will not be live next week because the Yankees are playing Monday night. We're going to have a taped show for everybody. We're going to record Sunday night, and I have a special guest coming on Sunday night.
Really? Oh yeah, you do. Okay,
I have a special guest coming on. Okay, promise you will not get triggered. Okay.
No, I might get triggered with him.
Oh, you might.
Are we gonna talk about COVID at all? Are we gonna get into politics, or is it just strictly Yankees?
Why are we talking COVID and politics?
Because then I might get triggered.
I don't think you need to get triggered over that. I'm sure we'll find other things for you to get triggered over. Like your wife triggered me today. Oh, nobody mentions me on the show. Oh,
man.
So you got triggered?
I got triggered. You know, I straight up told your wife, like, you want me to come to your house? I don't even feel like we're friends anymore.
The fuck you talking to my wife? Yeah, you haven't been here in 2 years. I've lived here.
Okay, so
there you go. Trigger me. Trigger me, trigger you.
Trigger me, trigger
Watch
you.
me trigger you. Watch me, trigger you.
So there. Okay, now we mentioned your wife on the show. Okay, maybe it'll make things a little bit easier for you later this evening. Okay.
Thanks, bro. Doing it for me.
I'm doing it for me.
What else? We got to get more reviews, please. If you listen on Apple Podcasts, please take a second, subscribe, leave us a 5-star rating and review. And Christian's been banging out the Patreons, the exclusive content. So head over to patreon.com/NYYST and become a patron of the show.
You got to go to patreon.com, dude. For $5 to hear me fucking let loose for 12 minutes or whatever it is, especially after an abomination of the start by Gerrit Cole.
You know, I didn't get to watch your Gerrit Cole one. I meant to ask you how intense it was.
So you got it. It's worth the $5 right there. So we're gonna get to Gerrit Cole later on in the show, but first, I think the first burning question, and I will also have to shout out my wife, because if I shout out your wife and don't shout out my wife, I sleep on the couch anyway, so I really have nothing.
You set me up to have an easier night later. I didn't rebound.
You know what? I'm used to being the forgotten one. Our special guest next week, he fucked up on Saturday. We went to a Nestor Cortez signing. I said, when I'm getting my shit signed, snap my picture with him, and I'll do the same. He fucking didn't. He didn't do it. And he said, when I sent him the picture, I said, he texted me back. He's like, I forgot to get your picture. I said, I'm used to being the forgotten one.
So you met Nasty Nestor. Did you shake his hand?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Have you washed your hands since?
Yes, Chris. That was Saturday. It's Monday night.
You should have went with a mustache look for him.
Yeah, you should have shaved just to the mustache, dude.
If he's honestly, dude, real nice guy.
Cool.
But it's such a cattle.
You got that out of 9 seconds.
Yeah.
Huh?
Real nice guy. You took that from 9 seconds.
I mean,
yeah, real nice guy.
Good first impression.
First impression, he smiled. He said, "Thanks for coming out." He shook
Great
her hand.
handwriting.
No, you can't even make out his name.
Wow. Not even good for a fucking good autograph.
Well,
Nah, I mean, probably signed 500 of them that day.
He
yeah,
better fucking chill, dude. He needs that hand.
yeah, he could be gets to work on that.
There's no way he would have been able to pitch that night.
500
really.
autographs, probably 3 Yanks minimum.
Maybe he was signing righty because he said he
Maybe.
couldn't read it. You couldn't read it. Maybe he was using his right hand.
I didn't pay that
Maybe.
close attention to
Yeah.
it. But as things stand today, Nestor Cortez is lined up to pitch the day of the event.
Ooh, wow. Look at that.
Because
nasty Nestor day when
The
we're there.
Yankees are keeping Gerrit Cole on schedule, and they're
Yeah.
pushing Nestor a day back. So Cole's going to start game 1 against Tampa tomorrow, and then Nestor's going to pitch Wednesday. It was originally supposed to be Nestor, then Cole, but the Yankees switched it up. So that does line up Cortez to pitch the day of the event. Or if they didn't do that, he would have pitched on Nestor Cortez T-shirt night the day before. But
I have a quick question for the chat. I want the chat to just respond, and I'll read them as they come in. So I'm taking Jack to a game Thursday. He graduates from preschool. No big deal. I tried to tell him it's not a big deal.
it's
just preschool. Everyone graduates. There's no failing.
Yeah, I think that's true.
So I'm taking him to a game. We got good seats. And we're getting there early for batting practice, everything. He's been to 2 other games in his life.
Yeah.
But he doesn't remember them. He wasn't old enough to remember them at all.
He won't remember
Does
this either.
Count? Does this? Yeah, he's 5 now. He'll remember it.
Yeah.
Does this count as his first game?
No.
No.
I don't know. I think it's true. Like, kind of really his first game.
But it's not his first time at Yankee Stadium.
But it's the first time he'll remember.
And it's not his first time at a game. Yeah, it's his first time he'll remember being there. But Jack was at 2 games.
So if I tell people I'm taking him to his first game, I'm lying.
You're lying.
I'm blatantly lying.
Blatantly lying.
Okay. Just had to get it out there quick.
All right. Okay. But if the chat disagrees, then we're wrong.
We'll see. I'll let you guys know.
Okay.
So if he bangs a girl in high school, but is blacked out drunk and doesn't remember, then the next girl he bangs, can he tell her that was his first time?
That's a great analogy. It's a great analogy. I'll think about it. I like where you're going with it, though.
Yeah, it's a good analogy.
You bring it into real life terms.
We need scientific poll for this.
We need a scientific poll on this one.
Please.
All right, so let's get into the meat here. Do we, as NYYST, do we owe Brian Cashman an apology?
I have my answer. I have it queued up. I have it ready to go.
Okay, so then go.
I said before the season started.
Your wife is triggered by my analogy, okay?
Okay, that's a baby boy, okay? I said before the season started that I will not apologize about anything. I will gladly admit that I'm wrong, and I will gladly give an apology. But the only time an apology is due after this offseason is if they win a World Series. Anything less than that, I'll tell you what, I'll give it to them. If they win a pennant, I'll even give it to them. Because at least it's something to hold on to. Right? But until that time, I'm not giving anyone an apology. Because they could have the greatest regular season in the entire world. And if they don't win at least a pennant, it is nothing different than any other year.
No, they brought this up on the broadcast the other day. Does anybody really remember the 2001 Seattle Mariners?
No, why would you? Here's the only time you remember the Seattle Mariners. It's when someone asks you who the best team ever was, and you say, well, the team with the most wins was the Mariners, but they're not the best because in 98, the Yankees might have won less games, but they won a World Series. They're the best.
So if the Yankees do continue this ridiculous, Ryan, what's their winning percentage? Like 713 right now? Something insane like that.
At 733.
Oh, 733.
Which is insane. It's insane.
It's ridiculous. So let's say they continue this 700 plus pace that they're playing on, and they lose to the Astros in the ALCS. What does it mean in the end?
Means is it's the same exact as any other year. What's
But
the
we're
difference?
sitting. But
What,
right
I had
now,
a better time watching the 162 games that I've watched every single year?
well, because now people want to take bows. People want to come out here and pull takes out from the off season where people like me were saying this was if everything broke right, this would be a third place team. We're 60 games in. This team is 44-16. And granted, they've had, if you look at the people, they've actually ranked the strength of schedule. The Yankees had the 9th hardest strength of schedule so far this year, but they only play bad teams because there aren't many good teams in the American League. I completely forgot what I was going to say now.
Well, I think this is 3-tiered, and maybe this has levels to it, because the first thing you can say is, fine, did we expect this team to be just good in general? No. So you want to say that so far, obviously, we are very wrong, along with a lot of other people? Sure. That's one level of it. The second level is, you also didn't know they were going to be this good. No one in their right mind, without any bias, is sitting here saying that this team was going to be 44-16 after 60 games.
But
no
somebody had it first. Okay?
Who's that?
I don't know. Somebody did.
Someone did.
Plenty of people taking bows right now. Like, oh, look, you guys are stupid. I had this. I said they were going to be good. Okay, well,
and the third level is, we still don't know, and I don't know how to measure this, but there's got to be some type of way. Are they winning because of Brian Cashman or in spite of Brian Cashman?
Well, who put the team together?
Brian Cashman put the team together, but we talk about this all the time. What was his intent? Was his intent to pass up on Carlos Correa for IKF because he knew that this was the way to go? Was his intent of taking on Donaldson's contract because they felt that he was the missing piece to the puzzle? Was his intent not getting another pitcher for this rotation because he knew that Luis Severino would come back healthy and strong, and Tyone wasn't going to have any issues with his lingering injury from last year? That Gerrit Cole would be dominant, which he hasn't been? Did he know all these things? Are they winning in spite of this or because of him? Because it's very difficult for me to say because when he didn't justify any of his actions other than we think we put together a World Series caliber team.
I think it's fair to say now, looking back on it, he was right about the rotation.
Okay.
I'll give him that for sure.
I think that one we have to give him now.
Because he came out and addressed that, right? He came out and said, this is why I'm not getting anyone else because of this.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe,
but like when it comes to Rizzo and people saying, oh, he knew Rizzo, then why did he wait so long to sign him? Why did it take until that night when we started hearing the Cubs were interested again? If Rizzo was the guy, if you knew Rizzo was the guy, why wasn't he signed immediately? He was a fallback. He was a fallback option. And anyone can't look at me with a straight face with the shortstop pool that was out there and tell me that IKF was the guy that you want on your team to build a World Series caliber team.
He scares me.
So for me right now, it's in spite of Cashman, but either way, I will give him an apology if this team wins something. For sure, and I'll be happy to do it.
Yeah, because our expectations were pretty low going into this year, and they're totally exceeding those, and that's awesome. Like, who cares that we're wrong? I'd rather be wrong than right on this. So
okay, you were wrong. Okay,
I was right, you were wrong. Okay.
You know, Cashman did come on the NYY News Roundtable and did grade himself with an A+. So
that is true.
He did believe in himself the whole time.
I don't think if you give Cashman truth serum, he honestly could not tell you he thought this team would be 44-16 right now.
There's no way. There's no way.
But you have to look at it like yes, the rotation has been great. It has been. Even with Gerrit Cole being highly average this year, this rotation has been great. You're looking at, well, he hasn't been bad. He hasn't been good. He's been kind of just there. He's had his big games. He's sucked at times,
We'll get into that.
but you got Sevy coming back, who is pitching like a guy that you would trust to take the ball in the postseason. Nestor Cortez, he had a rocky start against Minnesota, but the guy's ERA is still sub-2. Taillon has had a couple of shaky starts back to back. It's hard to kind of grade yesterday's start because the Yankees were up 30-0, and
Yeah.
but he's but still he wasn't great yesterday. And then, Jordan Montgomery, I mean, this fucking guy, all he does is go out there and pitch. That's what this guy does.
It's crazy.
He doesn't get honestly, Jordan Montgomery does not get enough respect from this fan base. Just because he's like this doofus, fucking lanky, nerdy looking white dude. Nobody gives him the attention that he deserves. You can literally cut your fucking arm out, blood everywhere, and take that blood and sign 6 1/3, 2 runs every time Jordan Montgomery takes the mound. How often does Jordan Montgomery not give you that type of outing? In fact, think about how great Nestor Cortez has been. Think about how good Sevy's been, Taillon, right? Think about how that historic run this rotation was on in that 2-week stretch before they hit Minnesota. Jordan Montgomery is the only pitcher on this staff that has not allowed 3 earned runs in a game yet this year.
That's crazy. That's insane. And he's finally starting to get some run support too, which is nice to see.
He's gone 6 or more innings in his last 4 starts. 6, 7, 6 1/3, 7 innings.
That's great, man. You're getting length out of a guy that you just don't expect to.
He's only gone less than 5 innings twice this year.
And one of the times I think the Yankees
starts.
blew the game open, or they had a lot of unearned runs then against him.
This was he pitched the 6 home run game. I said, this dude must feel like the first night he ever got laid with the way the fucking guys are hitting for him right now.
That was wild. Never saw anything like that either.
So, I mean, if you look at this, is what makes me feel a little bit better about this team going into the postseason than in years past. This team doesn't win the same way every night.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They had the game on Saturday night where they hit 6 home runs. They ended up scoring. I think they won 8-0 or whatever it was. But even Saturday, even Friday night, frustrating game. It was a brutal game to watch. The Yankees and Cubs were combined 0 for 30 runners scoring position. You fucking pluck Jose Trevino off the bench in the 13th inning. Guy gets a single win in the game.
Comes through.
These are not games that the Yankees won last year.
No.
They do these little things. Even like an IKF, the guy has no home runs. His OPS is in the mid 600s, but he finds a way to slash a ball down the right field line. They're driving a couple runs. So, no, I think that it's still hard to say that like IKF was a choice that he willingly made. I think we all know the reasons why IKF is on this team. But are we now looking at a situation here where the pieces are fitting?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe, but if you go back, actually, and I meant to say this, if you go back to an episode like a year or so ago, I said one of 2 things has to change. Either Cashman needs to spend money differently and get the guys that we need to get here, or something has to change on a organizational level with the philosophy of this team.
And it has big time. Now they're still benching guys a lot, which I'm more than okay with if they do it strategically. And it hasn't been too bad because everyone's contributing. But as far as the on-play shit goes, this is a completely different baseball team. They're a lot more aggressive on the base pass. They almost seem like they're looser playing the game.
Well, that's what happens when you're aggressive like that, and you're just naturally not so tense.
And you want to know something?
The team doesn't mind taking chances and taking risks and failing.
Okay. You weren't here last week, okay? But we talked about this. This is you have to credit Aaron Boone for a lot of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
And what's changed in Aaron Boone? Is it just simply now last year take 2020 and throw it out the window. A lot of fucked up things happened in 2020 and whatever. Last year, was he managing not to lose his job?
Maybe.
And now he's got this contract. He's got this new contract. He knows he's not going anywhere. Did he have a conversation with Brian Cashman and said, yeah, I want to come back, but I got to be me. I got to manage this team the way I want to manage it. Yeah, you can still do whatever, make your inputs and whatever, but I need to have a bigger control over how this team is operating on the field.
There's a great chance of it, and it's a great theory, and it's one that I would definitely say could very well be true, but taking any theories out of it and just making one factual statement, that is clearly something's different. This is more of the Aaron Boone we saw when he first got here, right? We're seeing that guy now more than we did in 2020 and 2021. The guy that we defended all the time.
I mean, are things like Luke Voigt not being here? Are things like Gary Sanchez not being here? Addition by subtraction? Are these things just those maneuvers? Are they what could possibly be contributing to this team being better? You have a full year of a Gold Glove first baseman. Luke Voigt is a fucking lumberjack over there. He's terrible.
Yeah.
Don't think that
Rizzo's defense has been a big part of.
Don't think that doesn't play into how those guys might be more aggressive going for balls and making and the way they make throws, knowing that Anthony Rizzo's over there. You know, we defended the hell out of Gary Sanchez up until last year, pretty much. But you know, the Yankee staff doesn't have to be afraid to throw any pitch this year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Kyle Gashioka, not being a Major League Baseball player. His OPS coming into the game yesterday was under 400, and he has not had a good defensive year. But the staff still trust him to a degree that they didn't trust Gary Sanchez. Jose Trevino is one of the best pitch framers in Major League Baseball, and is Jose Trevino a great player? No, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he is. But is Jose Trevino getting that magic, that rub that guys get when they come here? That are we riding a little bit of a magic carpet ride? Yanks.
Yeah. Sorry. I triggered there. Whew.
That some guys get when they come over here.
Carpenter's got the hypnosis, that trigger, that Shelley Duncan syndrome.
Oh, damn. Except he doesn't look like Shelley Duncan.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Luckily.
We call him Matty Mustache, Matt Carpenter, right? The guy is just coming up and he hits bombs.
Matty Mason, WB Carpenter.
Yeah, the Yankees does look just like him.
This guy could not crack the Texas Rangers. They released him because they weren't going to call him up. And the Yankees were pouncing on that. This might be where you have to credit Brian Cashman. Yeah. What did you see? That you knew that Matt Carpenter was an all-star in 2015. We kept saying that,
right.
We kept saying that, Marwin Gonzalez, I love the move in 2015, but what did Brian Cashman see in him that he knew that he could come up here and contribute? He could come over here and contribute to this team.
I think you made a great point about addition by subtraction, because I was trying to think the other day, what's different about this team than past years? And you can say like Donaldson and you can say guys like Carpenter, but if you really think about it, every good team has, guys like Donaldson that come in and kind of shake things up, will produce here and there, whatever, great defensively. Every team has a guy like Carpenter who comes up and it's lightning in a bottle and, whatever. But what's different about this team? And for me, it's like not watching Gary Sanchez strike out with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the 9th inning in a 1-run ball game. Like those things. And I'm sorry, I love Gardy. I'm sorry to you, SGR. Love him.
Yeah,
I love the guy. I'd still take him over Hicks. Okay.
Elite Walker, bro.
But maybe not having Brett Gardner anymore. Gary Sanchez striking out. Gary Sanchez not being able to keep balls in front of him. Maybe those things are what is different, and not so much the guys that are here in construction.
Luke Voigt. Luke Voigt.
Yeah.
Luke Voigt.
Yeah, that's a big one too. Just think of the defensive difference because of those two replacements of Gary Sanchez and Luke Voigt.
Everybody says this team catches the ball better. They play better defense. Look who's not here this year.
Yeah.
And Gleyber is not a shortstop.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Gleyber Torres is a much more competent second baseman than he ever was at shortstop.
And he's actually, you can even go as far as to say that this year he's proving how skilled he is over there, because he's been pretty phenomenal at second base.
Yeah, he's had his moments here and there where you see shortstop.
He's always gonna have a brain fart. He's never gonna be 100% locked in mentally. Like that.
I trust him at second base.
But you're watching a guy who said, I need to change shit now and show the player who I am. And you're looking at a completely different player than you have the last couple of years.
Yeah, he deserves I think if any player deserves sort of an apology from the fan base, you got to say right now, it's Gleyber Torres.
Well,
right?
I'm not going to say yes to that, only because he deserved to be doubted. It's not like we didn't give him enough time, right? He broke through the scene. And you're one of the top prospects in all of baseball coming up. You can't just disappear for 2 years.
This is my big problem. I've said it before. My big problem with Gleyber Torres was he was so bad last year that him alone caused all the angst that we went through as Yankee fans in the offseason. Because if he gets the shortstop job last year and he even plays okay. He's even okay out there.
Okay.
The thought of us having to go out there and get a shortstop doesn't even enter your mind.
Yeah.
Right.
Look, I'll apologize to say I didn't think he had it in him anymore. Like, I thought he was done.
Yeah, I thought he was done.
Did he have 9 home runs or six or 9 home runs last year?
I think 9.
Yeah, he's over it now. I think
he's got like 11 or 12.
Yeah, he's got 11. He has 11 home runs already this year. He's come up in a couple of key spots. He's driven in runs. I mean,
9 last year. He's up to 12 this year.
12.
He's got 12
because he had 2, right?
He had 51 ribbies last year. He has 28 already this year.
So you got to give Gleyber Torres credit. I mean, is the pace he's on this year, is that a top prospect, franchise-changing player pace? No, but for what this team needs him to be, I think it's adequate. Whereas last year, Chris, we sat here and we talked about, is this guy fucking washed up at 25 years old?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought he was done. I truly believed that he didn't have what it took to be the guy that we expected him to be. And to even just be a fraction of that would have been okay for me at that point, because that's how much he disappeared.
This team is, Brian Cashman doesn't get any apologies from me today on June 13th. I'm ecstatic that the team is 44-16, that they're the best team in baseball right now. But there's 2 things that still need to happen. July 31st is going to be here before we know it. This team needs help. We talked about it last week. This team is going to need help. If the Yankees are continuing on this pace, you still cannot sit there and do nothing at the trade deadline. Aaron Hicks and Joey Gallo, who have been better recently, they have been better recently. I'm not going to say that they haven't been, but something's happening outside. Okay? But this team still needs help in the outfield. You can't go into a postseason series with both these guys in your lineup. It just can't happen. Okay.
Well, it's going to be Gallo. It's not going to be Hicks. Hicks isn't going to go anywhere.
You have to improve somewhere. Okay. If Hicks is going to stay because he's got the contract. Gallo's a free agent at the end of the year. So if you just have to pick your poison in that situation, you have to go and get yourself an outfielder.
I heard an outfielder was just DFA'd recently that might be available.
Well, we'll get to that. We can get to that too if you want to.
Righty too. They could. That's what I was thinking. If they are going to add anybody, I think it'll be a right-handed outfielder.
They got to go get Andrew. Andrew Benintendi is the guy that they should target.
I agree.
Yeah, but you got to think though, if Gallo's still on this team, then he's gonna take that spot.
He can sit on the bench and collect fucking dust for all I care, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, he's been better. I don't want to. look, it's hard to say these things about these guys that they've been playing. But does anybody think that Joey Gallo's all of a sudden going to revert and become a guy that gets on at a 440 clip and he's going to hit 40 home runs?
No, I'd be shocked.
But don't you think Joey Gallo could be the kind of guy when he gets up in the postseason, he just makes contact and he has a really big moment for them? He has the potential.
Gun to your head, do you trust him? If the World Series is on the line and Joey Gallo's up, do you trust him?
I mean, no. I trust that it's either going to be a home run or a strikeout. So in that way, he could be the kind of guy you want up if you're down 2 with 2 outs.
Okay,
two outs.
90.
God,
would you even give him 10% on the home run?
God.
90%
what you
on
need
the strikeout?
Well, they have that now. They have the percentages that pop up on
you
Apple
watch the
TV.
game on Apple.
Yeah,
it's great.
I
love it.
About a 1% chance, but it's still, you're saying there's a chance. And it's kind of like the Higashioka Sanchez argument that we have on here. You'd take Sanchez over Higashioka because of the off chance of that he's gonna, hit a home run. So Gallo still has that power, but I mean, if there's a better option out there, I just don't think that the move would be to get a Benintendi or a lefty, because that's the guy right now. If this postseason started tomorrow, that you had a questionable player that could get taken out of the lineup, it would be Gallo.
I still think that this team is going to need help in the bullpen.
Yes,
I think the Yankees
for sure.
The move. That's the move.
I mean, I know everybody's like, let's go get Ian Happ. There's 2 guys on the Cubs that you could probably get right now if you wanted them. And I'm sure the team loves Kyle Higashioka. I can't have him starting postseason games.
No, at all. Like ever. Should not even come close to it.
And I love Jose Trevino, but at the same time, is this a guy that can catch 110 games a year?
I don't know, but I'm at least willing to give Trevino
but if
the
you're going to go out there,
opportunity
if you're going to go out there and get Contreras from the Cubs, like I want the Yankees to do, Jose Trevino's the backup.
Yeah, and I think Jose Trevino, retains his magic he's got going on more if he's a backup than he is exposed to the pitching every day.
Yeah, right. Because that's going to be a problem too, Chris, is that we've seen this with Kyle Higashioka. When he started to play every day, we saw that he wasn't a Major League Baseball player, that he wasn't a starting player in this league. And this year he's proven that he doesn't even belong in the league. So if we start giving Jose Trevino 60, 70% of the games, which he should play right now, because that's how much better he is than Kyle Higashioka, is that magic going to start to wear off?
Could.
Is it better to go out there and get Wilson Contreras and play Trevino twice a week?
So then isn't the smart move to have Trevino be the locked in starter right now? Let him play up until that deadline, and then you can kind of have a better
I don't have a problem with that.
Answer.
Absolutely not.
That's something that
because
really
what's the better option
if they're really considering that?
Yeah, what's your alternative? Higashioka splits time with him. I'm not okay with that. Not only has he not earned it, but Trevino has earned the spot.
Right
at this point.
Yeah,
and there's an
Higashioka
old friend
has lost it, and Trevino has earned it.
Yeah,
there's an old friend in that Chicago bullpen who's pitching really well this year, and I think the D-Rob Part 3. Why not?
Okay. Trilogy. Okay,
I'll take it, man.
Well, it's like Star Wars. Okay,
I'm sure the people in the chat, everybody listening, will come up with 100 different names that they think are better than David Robertson, and you might be right. But here's why I trust David Robertson, because I've seen him do it in the big spot.
Mm-hmm.
I got time for guys that have balls on that mound. You know that there's no situation that's going to be too big for David Robertson.
And there's no one still on that team, right? From when he kind of left with a little bad blood with the players.
I forgot about that.
They kind of left on bad terms with I don't even know what that really
he
was.
Voted not to give
one
of the clubhouse guys a share or something.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Who knows how true it is anyway.
I forgot about that. But I mean, honestly, dude, if you're trying to win a World Series, I think people can get over that.
And how many of those people are even still with?
And who really cares about the clubhouse guy? Right.
Maybe he didn't deserve
it. We know his name. Right, we don't even know his name.
No, yeah, but I don't know. I know he just left. He left on kind of bad terms with the players.
But I'm saying you need a guy in that bullpen. You need probably two guys in that bullpen because you're not getting Chad Green back. You don't. Aroldis Chapman, I think, is going to be starting a rehab soon. You don't trust it. You cannot trust this guy. He can, based on what we've seen from Clay Holmes, he cannot close. Aroldis Chapman cannot be the closer anymore.
No,
you owe him. And here's the thing: you don't have to baby him or placate his ego. He's out the door at the end of the year. If he doesn't like taking the demotion, fucking get rid of him, trade him, eat the money, and just deal with it. You don't need these bad eggs in the clubhouse. And that's why do the Yankees need Domingo Germán, the pitcher? Yeah, they do need Domingo Germán, the pitcher. For what he can be for this club, they need him. But do I want him in the clubhouse right now?
No, not really. The closing role is another job that wasn't like, okay, so Trevino, right? He's not just the starting catcher by default. It's not just like Higashioka sucked, and so Trevino's just a better option, right? What I mean by he's earned it is that he didn't just fall into it by default. Same thing goes for Clay Holmes. It's not just like he's in that role by default because Chapman sucked and then got hurt. He's earned it. The guy has been fucking phenomenal.
Right. It's like Gio Urshela taking the job from Andujar.
Right. So you can't come back and then say, okay, but it's Chapman's job. I mean, you were just here because he wasn't pitching well and he got hurt. No, this is now Clay Holmes' job to lose. And I'll tell you what, if he does lose it, which we better pray he doesn't, Chapman's not even on the list of people I'm willing to give it back to.
I mean, he would have to be at that point. I mean, who else would you give it to?
I don't know.
He would get first crack at it. If
he would get first crack.
My point is that's how bad he's been. So if he comes back and Clay Holmes has done nothing to show that he doesn't deserve to be there, and they give it back to Chapman,
that's a bad move.
You're watching a team that just doesn't care. There's no other way to put it.
That'll be an interesting.
It's an unserious move. You're unserious
it's an
about
unserious move.
You're unserious about winning the World Series if you just hand the Aroldis Chapman the job. Now, if Clay Holmes goes out there for a 2-week stretch and he starts giving up runs and blowing games, okay, fine. I have no problem with that. But for let's say if Aroldis Chapman came back tomorrow and he gets the first save opportunity, that's wrong. That's absolutely wrong. Because I think we've seen enough out of him to know how that movie might end. It might end differently this year.
Out yourself.
Okay. Sophia, hi. Make sure you watch next week. Daddy's going to be on the show. Okay.
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 He's going to trigger Chris. All right. So that'll be fun to watch.
Okay.
Okay.
So, anyway. Now, so you're not apologizing to Brian Cashman, okay?
No, he could still ask my day. It's still an SMD tour for me.
Okay. So, and that's there's, as I was saying, there's two things that how he'll earn the apology. One, fortify this team at the trade deadline. Do not stand pat because that's just not doing your job.
Okay.
This team, we said it and we'll say it again and then we'll move on. This team has an unprecedented opportunity in front of itself where it's going to most likely 90%, I can say with certainty, be the best team in the American League when the season closes, when the regular season is over. Don't leave any stone unturned. Make sure this team has the best possible opportunity to win a World Series. And that includes making trades at this trade deadline. You need an outfielder. You need bullpen help. Good night.
Yeah.
She said good night. My little cousin said good night. So good night. Okay.
Good night.
Good night. Buenos
I'm looking
noches.
at here's my guy that I think they should target. I'm looking at the Washington Nationals because they're terrible this year.
Okay, Juan Soto. Okay,
I'm going for Juan Soto. No, for a bullpen arm, I'm looking at my boy Carl Edwards Jr. You know who that is?
The NASCAR race guy?
He is no relation, just same name. But he's a reliever. He was on that Cubs World Series team. So
He
he's
was.
got nice postseason experience. He's got a pitch into a 208 this year. Somebody that SGR's targeting. Okay.
At the deadline.
Okay.
Okay.
And here's how you get the second. Here's how you get the big apology. I might actually send flowers to Yankee Stadium. I will send. In fact, I will send a fucking bouquet to his office if this happens.
How about you have to do a whole podcast with a flower in your ear?
I will do that. I will gladly do that. Okay. Podcast, flower in the ear.
Okay.
We'll send a bouquet of roses
floral
to his
arrangement.
office.
Okay. Okay. We'll get the corsage. Okay.
This team's hanging a fucking championship banner. Okay.
Fuck.
Right.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
Fuck yes.
You can. I will get down on my knees on this show and and
It's took a turn.
Took a turn.
And we'll take a break.
Better.
A word from our sponsors.
I will say that I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I agree, man. I'll wear the flower.
I'll do
too.
the whole fucking podcast.
It'll be flowers for Brian.
Yeah.
Because if this is truly
Flowers
his master plan, if this was truly his master plan, and he did everything that he wanted to do, and they win the World Series, I will gladly apologize.
Well, it's and then I will say it's too late to apologize, and I'll sing it, and I'm gonna do the whole podcast singing that song.
But
I'll record a whole version of that if they win the World Series.
Nice.
You guys can disagree with me. Okay.
Okay.
It's up to you to disagree with me or not.
Okay.
Thank you.
There's somebody who we're going to get very angry with in a minute, who's as important to this team's success as anybody. Yeah. I'll die on that hill.
Yeah.
Ace Gerrit Cole, if he's non-existent, this team going to have a hard time trying to win the World Series.
For sure.
There's two guys, maybe there's more, but there's two guys that have to be the best versions of themselves in order for this team to win a World Series. And that's Gerrit Cole and Aaron Judge. And anybody that has a negative thing to say about Aaron Judge, please go play in traffic.
Please.
This guy has been
at a minimum.
So I don't even have words. I don't even think that there's words in the English language to describe how good Aaron Judge has been this year. Okay. It has been a fucking joy to watch this guy play baseball day in and day out. Not only is Aaron Judge hitting at an elite level, first of all, I don't care. This is not hyperbolic. He's the best player in Major League Baseball today.
I've been saying it for a week now. It is not debatable right now. He is the best player in Major League Baseball. Because
not only is he hitting at an MVP clip, okay, playing when he's got that bat in his hand, playing like the best player in the world. This guy just casually, like, yeah, you guys don't want to pay me. Watch this. Now I'm going to be the best fucking center fielder in the league too. I'm sure.
Did you see him lay out for that ball?
Yeah, I saw him lay out for that ball the
fucking
other day.
Wild.
I'm sure there's other guys that are better than him defensively, but the fact that he's a very good center fielder after not playing it since college, and he's basically like on a whim as a fuck you to the Yankees to prove how good he is that he's doing this. The best player in the world is Aaron Judge. Okay.
Damn, man. Yeah.
Yeah. I fucking love that, dude. That just pumped me up.
It's impressive when you put into all that, when you put that all into perspective and you see what he's doing on the year that he's doing and how important that is for his future. That's a lot. And to do it in New York, that's a lot of pressure, dude.
I would probably feel this way if they left him in right field. And it's not even, people are like, oh, well, Hicks plays left field. Hicks is the center fielder. He plays left field every day because that's how good Aaron Judge is. This guy's not played center field in 10 years since he's been in college.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear a goddamn thing about Mike Trout. Go scratch Mike Trout, okay? No,
honestly, dude.
He is scratched.
Honestly, man. Trout's legacy is quickly turning into something the polar opposite of what it should be. This dude just cannot stay healthy.
Oh, and it's still these uneducated people are like Aaron Judge is fine. Aaron Judge has always been healthy. Okay. He's always been healthy. You jabronis just can't get it out of your stick heads that he missed all that time in 2018 because somebody threw a fucking baseball at his hand. He plays like a machine, but guess what? He's still made of bones. They will break if you throw a 95-mile-an-hour fastball at his wrist. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he missed time. He will break a rib if he is 6. What did Aaron Boone say? He's 6'7". So sometimes if he dives, he will hurt himself. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if you take out the broken wrist, nobody ever brings up his health because there's nothing to talk about.
No, because I don't even remember the shoulder. It's
he played through it in 2017.
It's in the past.
Aaron Judge is an elite player. People always you want to bring up old takes. Mitch not Mitch. What the hell is that guy's name?
You should trade him.
What the hell is the dude's name out?
Mitch Moreland?
No, not Mitch Moreland.
That's a baseball.
Ryan, who's the German guy? Max Kepler. I had a
he's cute.
Max Kepler's better than Aaron Judge. Remember, Met fans told you that Michael Conforto was better than Aaron Judge. They wanted to tell you this coming into this year that Pete Alonso is better than Aaron Judge.
Pete Alonso.
Out of the guys playing Major League Baseball today, nobody's better than Aaron Judge.
No
Quote
one.
me on it.
Quote you.
Okay.
Quote him on that.
There's two guys that have to play to the top of their abilities. And right now, Aaron Judge is playing. They need to create a league for him because he doesn't belong in this one. He's so good. Gerrit Cole, on the other hand, things are a little bit different with him. Okay. This guy was brought here to do one thing and one thing only, and that's be the best pitcher in the league. Be one of the top 2 or 3 best pitchers in the entire sport. He's been far from it. Okay. Nobody's been hopping on the Cole train more than I have, and I'm not off it yet. Okay. I'll be the first to admit it. But I'm also going to be fair about it. This guy has been uneven in a word, uneven as a Yankee. He goes out there. He nearly pitches the perfect game in his previous start. Last start against Minnesota, I've never seen anybody as good as him pitch that poorly. You want to talk about a guy with the talent that Gerrit Cole has, that he was that bad on Minnesota against Minnesota. I told you guys I thought he was hurt. I needed a reason for him to be that bad. Because if he is not hurt, if there wasn't something wrong with him, the Yankees have a major problem that he has that in him. And it's not even that he went out there and he gave up 3 consecutive home runs in the first inning. That's terrible in of itself. Joey Gallo, of all people, erases that for you. You take the mound in the second inning, it's a 0-0 game, basically. You give up another fucking 3-run home run.
Gave up like 10 more home runs.
I mean, there's certain guys you hold to certain standards, and Gerrit Cole has to be held up to here. Okay. If Jameson Taillon or Jordan Montgomery or anybody else does what Gerrit Cole did on, what was that? That was the middle game of the series, I think, or I don't remember what game it was, whatever game it was. And they pull that shit. It sucks, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, whatever. That was a performance that can change your outlook on how well this team is going to do this year. The fact that he had that in him. This is supposed to be your ace. This is a guy you paid more money than any pitcher in the history of the sport to deliver you a World Series. And he was an abomination to the sport.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And he's gonna be the guy that gets the ball in game 1. This team is good enough to overcome a bad start like that. But then you got to think about, you're in the playoffs now. Think about the repercussions of that. You had how many innings did he pitch in that game against Minnesota?
Did he get through the 3rd inning? I don't
think he did. So then you're pulling guys earlier. He's not going that ace 6 innings at least. And now your whole series has changed. Even if you win that game, it's still
That was the final
affecting
game
them.
of the series, right? I believe it was. Oh, yeah, it was the final
So
game.
there's more than just
Yeah.
winning and losing there as the ace. You
Before
gotta
we-
get
bef-
some length.
Before we continue on with this conversation with Cole, though, the Yankees won that game. Again, that's how you can
Right.
tell this is a different team, because there's no way
No.
in hell the Yankees survived that type of performance from Gerrit Cole last year. They fucking won the game. And who built Joey Gallo and Aaron Hicks were the guys that bailed him out.
Yeah. Yeah. They'll win any way possible, like you said. But here's my thing with Cole. And it's getting to a point where it's extremely concerning. Because as an ace, you should never have to hear the question asked, who are you giving the ball to in game one? And that's a question that everyone's been asking for a couple weeks now. You should never have to let it get to that point as an ace. That's the first step. He did. We've been asking the question. But it takes a lot as an ace for people to say, no, someone else deserves the ball in game one. So despite his underwhelming performances, we've still said he still gets the ball in game one. To me, after the last start, with what this rotation has been doing, we are now at a point where if you ask me who gets the ball game one right now, if the playoffs started right now, my answer is you better not even think to give it to Gerrit Cole. That is not the person who gets it. I don't care what you're getting paid. You got paid because of previous performances that you've earned that money. You are not getting paid to then go out and fail them for me. Okay, your paycheck does not determine, in my opinion, your paycheck does not determine what role you play. The role you've played leading up to that paycheck is what determines the value of the paycheck. But just because you're Gerrit Cole making $34 million a year does not mean that I sit down and automatically give you the ball in game one of a playoffs. No matter what you've done. Just because I'm writing you the biggest check. That's fucking asinine to me. Mm-hmm. Right now, at this current moment, I'm not saying this won't change or couldn't change, because I highly expect it to. Gerrit Cole is not the person I'm giving the ball to game one, and that's a really, really big problem for this team.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still going to give him the ball.
No, honestly, I need to. It's so hard.
You can't justify it.
I've fucking been on record as saying I have no ammunition to fight anybody that says they don't want to give him the ball in game one, but I can't start a playoff series with him on the bench. I can't do it unless this is who he is now, and he goes out there and he's got a 13 ERA. Then obviously, yeah, he's not getting the ball. But if he's going to continue this up and down shit that he does, it's just going to be hard to send that message. Because then we talked about the one thing that more so than anything else that we worry about with him is his mental makeup. If you don't give him the ball in game one, you might as well fucking start him at all.
Right. Fine. And then you got to think about too the narrative that would be attached to that. Is that really the narrative you want driven behind this playoff run? Because that's what it'll be. It's all anyone will talk about. Gerrit Cole not getting the ball in game one tonight.
I care about one thing, and I care about this team putting out the best possible configuration to win a ball game. And if we're talking about the importance of a game one, nothing else matters than giving the ball to the guy who's been consistently great for this team. Right now, Gerrit Cole, I'm not appointing anyone to take his place in game one. Mm-hmm. All I'm saying is Gerrit Cole has been the least consistent pitcher to take the ball.
He's been the worst pitcher on the staff this year, okay?
I don't expect that to continue. I really don't. We all know Gerrit Cole gets off to rough starts.
This is...
Yeah, I mean, look, it's usually 12 games. How many games has Gerrit Cole started this year?
I don't know. Ask your mom.
My mother doesn't have a television.
Not Ryan's mom, your mom.
Okay.
He has started 12 games this year.
Okay, there you go. There's your 12th. Now Gerrit Cole better show up.
Tomorrow against the Rays would be a hell of a fucking place to start.
Great time to start, man. don't know if anyone told you, Gerrit, but tomorrow's a good time to turn it around.
So it perturbed me a little bit on Friday night when I saw Gerrit Cole having fun in the dugout because I'm still mad at him. Okay, I'm mad at him. You give up 5 home runs in a game. Okay, you need to be bailed out. You shouldn't be, smacking Nestor Cortez's ass. And not only am I upset over it, I'm sure his wife was probably upset over it. I'm actually wondering what that conversation must have been like when Gerrit got home on Friday.
Yeah.
And Amy asked him, "What were you doing smacking Nestor Cortez's ass?"
Look, Amy, it's a sportsmanship thing. It's a clubhouse thing. It's something we do to cheer the guys on. I smack it, I pack it, and that's that. And Amy, you can't spell Amy Cole without ace. And I'm your ace, Amy, please. He's not your ace, please. Oh, he's your ace? Oh, he's your ace? Oh, he's your ace?
Is that how she cucks him? Does she walk around and just be like, "Oh, Nestor, my ace"?
Ryan, have you been working on that? Because that was phenomenal. Bro.
That was phenomenal, dude.
Yeah, I've been listening to it. He's got, kind of just a monotone Kermit the Frog a little bit in there. And you kind of just stay right here. You go up a little bit at the end.
Because you're a little
That's
bit
good,
deeper
dude.
now, which is
Yeah,
you're capturing him really well.
Yeah,
I
this
love
is
it.
somber. This is somber Gerrit Cole. Not too happy with how I've been pitching, but it's early and 12 starts in. I'm ready to lock in against Tampa tomorrow. It's my time to shine now and then to prove Chris wrong. Like I always do. Amy.
Oh wow, that was something else.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, back to you. Back to you guys in the
Okay,
studio
back to
there.
you.
Okay, Minko, you got a report?
Yes, boys. This tonight, game 5 of the NBA Finals kicking off tonight. Let's take a look at the score. We got the Boston Celtics currently trailing the Golden State Warriors 16-26 after quarter 1. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, back to Minko.
Thank you. Is it really game 5 tonight?
Yes.
Yeah, NBA final.
Jesus Christ. But I mean, not to belabor the point, it's something. I mean, what are we watching here? Are we watching a guy that is just not the guy we thought we signed? Are you still waiting for him to turn something on here? Because I'm going to be honest here. A lot of my hope in this guy is based on what he represents to this team. Okay. If he was just anybody else pitching like if he was AJ Burnett, he is AJ Burnett right now. If you want to say it's a terrible comparison, but AJ Burnett would pitch like the best pitcher in the world some days, and then other days he couldn't get out of his own way, and he was out of the game in the 3rd inning. That's we've seen that from Gerrit Cole this year. That's not good company you want to keep if you were brought here to be the savior of this team. So for me, sorry to cut you up, but for me to finish this point here, for me to really feel like this team has everything it needs in place to win the World Series this year, I need ace Gerrit Cole. I need Gerrit Cole, baby. I need that fucking guy, man. If he's not that guy, what are we talking about here, Chris? Because I don't think, honestly, you could say, we said this team had 5 aces last week, but he's the ace of the aces right here. You can disagree with me all you want, but if we're going into the postseason where you can't trust Gerrit Cole, if he's pitched to a 4.5 ERA this year, that's going to determine how confident I am in this team. And if he goes out there and bombs in the ALDS, how do you feel confident this team can win a World Series? Him more so than anybody else in his staff needs to be the best pitcher on the fucking planet right now.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I think it's 100% true. But my biggest thing, I've been trying to figure out, all right, I love Gerrit Cole, the competitor. I love the dude who tells Aaron Boone to sit the fuck down because he's not coming out of a game. I love that guy. But I've noticed that like with other pitchers that you fall in love with, it's very easy to defend them. And for me, I'm having such a difficult time defending Gerrit Cole. And I think I've boiled it down to the fact that I don't know if he, how can I word this? Gerrit Cole needs to learn a little humility, I feel like. And he's had plenty of opportunities to this season so far. I feel like when Gerrit Cole's leaving the mound after a game like the other night, an ace needs to sit down and admit to himself he is not only the worst pitcher on the staff, but he is completely failing his duties to this team.
Did you want him to write that in a letter?
No, but I feel like Gerrit Cole walks off the mound and kind of almost has this like temper tantrum to a point where he knows what he's supposed to do. It's almost like the whole Billy Crystal thing where he got pissed off that the thing was delayed.
Mm-hmm.
Right? A champion's answer is not that the ceremonies took too long and it threw off my
Yeah, I don't
timing.
like the excuses. I'll be
Well,
honest.
that's part of it for me. That's part of it for me. And that's why I'm leading up to this is I don't think he doesn't know how to be humbled. And I think that's his biggest issue because he's hitting adversity like he never has in his career.
I mean, Jesus Christ, if giving up 5 home runs in a game doesn't humble a guy, I don't know what will.
You got to
I don't know, but it needs to change.
And again, this isn't somebody who's living up to this contract this season, but you know, he might not be the ace on the field, but he is living up to that ace role off the field with how his presence in the dugout. He's always there with the other pitchers talking. He's the kind of guy
even after he pitches.
Yeah. I mean, so that's something that's an important role to establish. And he's definitely done that. He's taken on that leadership role in that sense. So that's good, but that's not why you're here.
No, I need to see a guy come out and wash himself of this bullshit. And to be okay with failing if he doesn't turn it around.
Mm-hmm.
Just go out there and be Gerrit Cole, man. Be fucking Gerrit Cole. We're not questioning you as much as you're questioning you. Gerrit Cole is in his own head and he needs to get the fuck out.
Yeah. That was the argument. A lot of people are saying he's been too fine with his pitching. He's being too selective with where he's putting things, and he's not attacking hitters as much as he's probably capable of.
That's I mean, that's the problem. Like everybody wants to say, "Oh, he sucks because he doesn't." No, I don't think it has anything to do with spider attack. The stuff is there. The guy he's learned a cutter this year. He's got 100-mile-an-hour fastball. He's still got nasty breaking stuff. He's got a good change. I mean, what else do you want in his repertoire? It's up here. That's where his problem is.
And if Gerrit Cole didn't face anyone and shut them down like he did in the past, then I'd say maybe that argument has some credibility. But we've seen the guy at the peak of his game still, even after the spider tech shit.
Yeah, and again, though, it's his first inning. He can't get out of it. It's when he's bad, it's that first inning right away. Yeah, we were talking more about
even in the game when he dominated before this last game, he still had a shaky first inning. Remember, he wasn't throwing strikes.
He was struggling to find something that was working.
Did we opener him? Did we pull Davy Garcia for him?
Did we do a little happy hap?
A little happy part 2? Happy feet?
So, I mean, this is a big test coming up for the Yankees now. The next 13 games, it's Tampa, Toronto, Tampa, Houston. These are the teams with the second, third, and fourth best winning percentages in the American League. So, yeah, everybody that's like, oh, the Yankees don't play good teams. Well, they're not going to get any better than what they're playing in these next 2 weeks.
Yep.
Even if the Yankees go 7-6, they did their job right here. What you don't need to see happen in this next stretch is for them to go backwards. So even if they play even a game, which they can't because it's 13, but if they play a game up, they did their job.
Mm-hmm.
Because think about it, if you're going into the postseason, you don't have to play 700 baseball to win the World Series because you win a series 3-2, you win a series 4-3. So you can win the World Series being on a stretch where you're only playing 3 games over 500, right? People don't realize that. So you don't have to be gangbusters against good teams. You need to play them well, win a couple of series, and just keep progressing here.
Mhm.
That's all they have to do. They can't go out here in the next couple of games. You're going to be home against Tampa. You owe Tampa, okay? Tampa you had a chance to really put your necks on Tampa down in the circus tent. Now they're coming here. They're not really as good as they've been the past couple of years, not based on what I've seen out of them. You need to go out there and take this series. You have Nestor, Cortez, and Gerrit Cole going in this series. There's no reason why the Yankees shouldn't be looking at going for a fucking sweep on Thursday, okay? If Gerrit Cole is going to now take this step, if he's going to be the guy that we need to be to win a World Series, you go out there, you pitch 7 1/3, you give up a run, you strike out fucking 13 guys, you put that game in the bank, and you go home with a win. Nestor Cortez, okay, are we going to see a little bit of regression? Probably. I mean, as much as I love the guy and think that he is now a solidified piece of this rotation, he wasn't going to pitch through a 1.5 ERA all year. It just wasn't going to happen. But go out there, pitch a winning ball game. Give me a quality start against them. Win the game. That's how. And then you move, and then you might have a little bit of a tough trip up in Toronto and Tampa. Go 3-3. Come home. You're playing 4 games against what do you call it? Against the Astros. If you split the series, that's 7-6. How hard was that? It wasn't. And then you go and you actually finish the stretch a game closer to being 30 games over 500 than when you started. It's not. I'm not asking them to go 10-3. I'm not asking them to play 700 ball. But don't take the step back now. You're going to have a swoon. It's going to happen. But this is an important test for the Yankees to really measure themselves. And if you go 7-6, I think that's a good stretch right there. Do I want more? Am I going to be greedy and want a 10-3 stretch of 9? Yeah, of course. I'm going to want them to win every series. But don't finish this stretch under 500.
No, especially because the way they started, I think they were saying during the game last night that even if they went 500 the rest of the way, they would still have 95 wins.
Yeah, they don't have to.
So,
yeah, they don't have to play much better than 500. They really don't have to play much better than 500 throughout the course of the rest of the season to win 100 games.
And look, man, they're at the doorstep of being 30 games over 500. Like, what two better guys to take the ball and solidify that? And then you go out. See, here's my issue with putting a number on what I'm okay with. If we're just looking at it, before going into anything like we are 7-6, of course, I'm agreeing with you, but it can't be like 2 games where Nestor and fucking Cole are dominating, and then they have a chance to sweep, and it's the most winnable game in the world, and they blow it. Like, I can't have losses like that either. I'll take 7-6, but they better be hard fought, and they better be fucking competitive games. That's mainly what I'm focused on, because I feel that when this team stays competitive and stays awake, it's tough to have them go 7-6, man. It's tough that they would only have one more win than they do loss in that 13-game stretch, because this team is that good.
And this is not only is this a big test for the Yankees, this is a big test for Gerrit Cole, man. He's gonna get Tampa. He's lined up to. He's going to get Tampa twice, I believe, because I think he's going to miss Toronto. He's going to get Tampa twice and the Houston Astros. If Gerrit Cole goes on a bender here where he pitches 22 innings, gives up 2 runs, and strikes out 40 guys in that stretch, yeah, let's go, man. The guy, he's here. If he goes out there and he gets roughed up in one of these, even if he gets roughed up in one of these games, the doubt is still going to be there.
It's gonna grow.
The doubt's gonna be there for people regardless of what he does in these next 3 games. But this is almost Gerrit Cole's postseason. The Yankees are not going. Obviously, that's Gerrit Cole's postseason is going to start in October. But this is like the Yankees are not going to go on a stretch like this for the rest of the season. I don't think so. That they're going to have 13 games against 4 teams
and 20 games straight total.
Right. So this is where Gerrit Cole's got to make his money right now and really go out there and stamp the entire season. If the Yankees go out there and dominate these next 13 games, we could be looking at a situation where we're not even at July 4th, and the regular season is basically washed out because the Yankees are just that far ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
And Gerrit Cole's going to be a big part of that. He's going to take the ball 3 times in this stretch.
Right.
So if we're looking at a situation where the Yankees we're okay with them winning 7 games, that means for me to be okay with that, Gerrit Cole's got to win 3 of those fucking games and not, he gave up 4 runs in 6 innings and the Yankees outscored the other. No, he's got to be fucking Gerrit Cole. I need the next 3 starts out of Gerrit Cole to be ace Gerrit Cole starts.
Well, Gerrit Cole
I need this. I fucking need this. I'm telling you,
the expectation that surrounds
I fucking need it.
The expectation that surrounds Gerrit Cole forces this to be a situation where he has to give us enough consistent ace-like dominant Gerrit Cole performances for us to forget that we even doubted him. That's why he can't have 2 out of 3 right now that are dominant. No, he needs to go on a run here where we forget that we even doubted him, which he's more than capable of doing. And then if he has a blunder, we can say, yeah, but that's an anomaly at this point. Gerrit Cole's been dominant. Instead, if he blows one of these 3 games, we're going to just keep looking at it as we're not going to get the consistent guy that we need.
I cannot sit down. I cannot watch a game tomorrow where the Yankees take their first turn at bat trailing with him on the mound.
No.
That cannot happen tomorrow. I mean, if Gerrit Cole's the competitor, we can all say that whether you love the guy or you hate him, he's a competitor, right? There's got to be something inside of him that wakes up now. The fans, there are enough people like me that still fucking love this guy and want this guy to be a big solution to the problem of them not winning a World Series since 2009. Wake the fuck up, man, and just be that fucking guy tomorrow. I'm telling you, like, I need that. I'm going to be fucking – if the Yankees lose tomorrow and it's because of him, I'm going to be devastated. I really am, because then I'm going to really – for me to really start to sit there and doubt who this guy is now, if he doesn't pitch a winning ball game tomorrow, that's going to hurt me as a fucking fan, because now how I feel about this team today, even one loss shouldn't really change your opinion on it. But if the loss becomes because he shit the bed again, it's going to make me it's going to ruin my enjoyment of the first 60 games of the season, because now I have to sit here and worry about whether the guy we're paying to be the ace of the staff, to be the guy that we're not supposed to worry about, now I have to fucking worry about him.
Right. And it sets the tone for this set of games that they're about to play. You got to come
Hell
out
yeah.
and
Big time.
assert yourselves.
Okay, so set the tone, okay? Okay, like the Yankees we know the Yankees are going to be without Josh Donaldson tomorrow because he lost his appeal for the Jackie shit. Okay, upstanding. That's Tim Anderson, such a
great guy,
a great guy. Apparently, he knocked up somebody that wasn't his wife.
We are going to start banging.
The Black Sox scandal. Okay, of 100 years later. Okay, happy anniversary. Okay.
So that's neither here nor there. It's just interesting that it's just interesting. Also interesting, since you did bring it up, and we'll kind of close out the show now. Clint Frazier noticeably absent in the series against the Yankees. What happened?
What happened?
What happened was, I don't generally believe in things like karma but then things happen, like happened on Friday, where he ran his mouth again about the Yankees, and people were like, "Oh, you were just feeding into the clickbait headline." No, I actually read the article, and of course, did the headline make it seem a lot worse than what was actually said? Yes, but Clint Frazier also could have avoided the situation and said, "I don't play for the Yankees anymore. What happened was in the past. My focus is on being a Chicago Cub." No, but instead he decided he was going to say that he had the Yankees make you into a cookie cutter baseball player, and he was tired of having people tell him how to look and blah, blah, blah. And then it just so happened he got designated for assignment. So, I mean,
get the fuck out.
So you want to talk about, that that has to be some type of karmic retribution there. It just has to be. Like, I have to believe that there was a bigger power
The
at play
baseball gods are looking over
at that point. Okay, so you want to talk about you said this a couple of weeks ago that Joey Gallo would never play baseball again. I always firmly believe that Gallo would always get another shot. Now I have to believe that it would be tough for Clint Frazier to get another shot here.
Yeah, no, he'll get another shot because
no one's going to put him on a major league roster right now.
No.
Well, but the reason behind that move was because of Jason Hayward was coming back from injury, and they didn't want to DFA Hayward because of all the money he's owed. So they kind of had no choice. So if there is a team, a bottom feeder team that wants to try him out, I think he could be on a major league team.
The Pirates.
Do you know that he was hitting .216 with 0 home runs and 1 run batted in?
Yeah, but I think his last 5 games, he was hitting a little bit better. So,
so he sucks.
He's a bum.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't want to talk the guy up, but I think that there was a little bit more behind it than just him saying that could have played a part in it, though.
I don't think. I don't think
that's why they.
The Cubs didn't let him go.
His last 7 games, he's hitting .357 with a 500 on base.
So is that
listen? The Cubs
you want to keep Aaron Hicks?
Yeah.
The Cubs just made it fun. It was good timing.
Yeah.
Good comedic timing by the Cubs.
They had good comedic timing in the first inning when they tweeted out that all Yankee fans think every ball's a home run.
Yeah, that was great too.
Because someone, I think it was Stanton, hit one to the warning
track.
track.
He didn't even rob him. It wasn't going over, but it was a nice catch, I guess.
And they proceeded to hit every home run.
Yeah, then they hit like 20.
The funniest part about that tweet is in the video, you can see their pitcher reacting as if he thought the ball was gone.
Yeah.
And then the Yankees proceeded to hit 5 more home runs in that game. And then how many did they hit yesterday? They hit at least 4 because Matty Mustache had 2, and then Higgy. The second one doesn't count.
Doesn't count. Don't even count.
Home runs.
The slowest pitch ever recorded
since
with the home run.
I think it was since 2008.
Doesn't count.
I don't want to be the buzzkill. I don't want to be the buzzkill, but I didn't need to see Anthony Rizzo pitch yesterday. Like, that was my timeline. Was like, we're gonna can Boone put Anthony Rizzo into pitches? Anthony Rizzo. Why do I need to see that? Like that?
No,
that's a novelty. That's something. If you're not.
That's what jokes of teams do.
He's my starting first baseman. I don't need to see him on the fucking mound. If you wanted to trot out, if Timo Castro was still on the team and you wanted to trot him out there, or Aaron Hicks you wanted Aaron Hicks to throw a couple to a couple batters.
Yeah, the expendable ones.
Not Anthony Rizzo, because people were telling me, well, he throws the ball harder around the horn than he would to the point. Okay.
No.
How many times would Anthony Rizzo throw the ball around the horn in innings? Twice maximum.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember the last position player to pitch for the Yankees?
Nick Swisher.
Was it Swisher? Or was it somebody in between?
More recent. No, it was a playoff game against Boston.
What?
Was it Austin
Romine?
Yeah, Austin Romine.
Oh, God. Oh, that was 2018.
Yeah.
Blocked that, but my memory.
Okay.
So that's that. Okay. A couple of shout outs here we have to do before we wrap up here. We did the family shout outs. Okay. And speaking of family, the OG Patrick, his family grew by 1. He tweeted.
Congrats, Pat.
He DM'd us. He is a proud grandpapa of a little baby girl. So congratulations, Patrick, and to your
fellas.
And I don't know if it was his son or his daughter, but whoever had the baby, congratulations to them. Congratulations to your family, the OG, Grandpapa OG. Also, shout out to Don Sicario, who says that he thinks that the entire team should start growing mustaches.
Wow.
Okay.
All right. This team or the Yankees?
The Yankees.
Okay.
I think people know at this point that you can't.
I cannot grow
a mustache. Okay. And then Brad Jewis, our pal, says that maybe it has more to do with Aaron Boone's managing than anything that Brian Cashman did for the Yankees' success so far this year.
I'll take that. I'll take it.
Okay.
Okay.
So please go to at NYYST_podcast. The link is there. Come hang out with the fellas. Come hang out with the entire NYY News TV team. And while we're shouting people out, congratulations to our teammate Gary Sheffield Jr. on his engagement.
Congrats,
over the weekend.
man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Congrats, bro.
Rest in peace, but also congratulations.
Congrats.
Okay. Chris
Okay.
Chris is happily married. Okay, so he's not going to chime in on that. Okay.
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 I'm also happily married, but I'll chime in on it. Okay, because I like to make the joke. Okay.
Okay.
I had a sales meeting the other day, and the guy's pitching was like, "Oh, I just got engaged, so if you guys need anything from me, it'll be 2 weeks before you hear from me." And I was like, "Rest in peace." And everybody looked at me. I was like, "Shut the fuck up."
Before we head off, Rasan Thompson, thanks for the super chat. He said, second to Christian, I'm the biggest Cole fan. He will be okay. And with that, the jury rests.
Okay. The jury rests. And I think that's everything we got covered. Also, patreon.com/NYYST. If Gerrit Cole blows up tomorrow, you're going to want to be a patron of the NYYST podcast. Okay?
Yes.
If not, I'll probably do a show after the game on Thursday. I usually like to wait until the series is over, the midweek series. But I even said in the Patreon last week that it did not matter what the outcome of the game was. It just needed to vent about Gerrit Cole's performance. So hopefully there will be nothing to vent about. Just high praise for the Yankee ace tomorrow. Cortez on the mound on Wednesday, as we said, and I believe Sevy's closing out the series on
Thursday.
On Thursday. So it's Kluber. Easy for me to say. Corey Kluber. He's a starting pitcher against Gerrit Cole. And then it's McClanahan against Cortez. That should be a fun pitching matchup. Yeah. And then Rasmussen against Sevy. These are all good pitching matchups. But again, hey, if the Yankees are who we think they are, these are games the Yankees there should be no reason why the Yankees don't win this series. Okay. So thank you very much for your continued support of the NYYST podcast. Again, at NYYST_podcast. Get your tickets to the event. You get your ticket to the Yankees against the Astros. As of right now, Nasty Nestor is lined up to pitch, so an added fucking bonus. 90 minutes before the game, free. Well, it's not free. You're technically paying for it, but it's included in your ticket. Food and beers. Hang out with the fellas. Hang out with Team NYY News TV. Don't miss next week's show, even though we won't be live for the premiere. Chris will be triggered by another member of my family. So fucking triggered. He'll be on the show. I promised him if he came to the event, he can come on the show, but he had to promise to trigger Chris. Triggering in effect next week. Thank you very much for your continued support. Episode 286 of the NYYST podcast. SGR.
Go Yanks.
Chris, say goodbye.
Peace.